The amazing animated show Arcane has many great battle scenes, each with their own stories. From the desperate fight for Vander's survival, to Jace and Vi taking on Silco's chem tanks and Sevika vs Vi. But there's one fight that stands out above all the other ones. It's one without any dialogue, a fight between two former friends turned opposites. It's a confrontation that goes far beyond punches, slashes and explosions. This fight encapsulates the emotional, psychological and thematic depths of both characters. The battle between Jinx and Ekko in episode 7 is not only a reflection of their individual growth, but also the worlds they now represent. But to fully understand the impact of this battle, we need to take a look back and dive into who Jinx and Ekko are and how they dealt with their trauma. Both Ekko and Jinx went through traumatizing events multiple times during the show. With Jinx, then still Powder, losing both her parents at the start of the show and then accidentally by her own hands losing the remaining people close to her in Vander, Clegor, Milo, and most importantly, being unintentionally abandoned by her sister Violet. Ekko himself watches his mentor Benzo get killed on orders of Silco, and then he later also loses Vander, Clegor, Milo, Violet, and Powder herself. The difference is in how both these characters grow after these events. Ekko embodies resilience and hope. He becomes the leader of the Firelights, a group that's fighting for a better future for Zaun and against Silco's control. He uses trauma as fuel for positive change that he himself seeks to bring. However, behind the mask of the leader, the child in him is still hurting over the loss of his friends. After the Firelights capture Vi and Caitlyn, we see Ekko break his facade, tearfully accepting the embrace of Vi, beautifully mirroring the shots of when Vi hugged Ekko after Benzo's death earlier in the story. Jinx, on the other hand, has nearly completely lost herself to chaos. Her trauma of losing her family, being abandoned by Vi and manipulated by Silco has completely torn her mind. She's in a constant battle of doubting herself, proving herself and not really knowing who she is. Is she Powder or a Jinx? The dark visions of Milo looming in the back of her mind as a grim reminder of her own failure. While Ekko has used his pain to create a path towards growth, Jinx is consumed by her trauma and slowly spiraling into madness. Their fight symbolizes these opposing journeys, Ekko representing positive growth and seeking order, a symbol of rebellion and protection, while Jinx symbolizes the loss of self, seeking to destroy her past self and everything else with it in a wave of chaos and explosions. Their paths are beautifully shown in this short shift in animation style that tells us a story by itself. At the start, we're transitioned into a flashback, cleverly done by the swinging of Ekko's pocket watch. This flashback is quite colorful, almost childlike crayon doodles on paper, heavily contrasting to the gritty and dark scene of the bridge. We're reminded of what Ekko and Jinx used to be, friends, playfully having a fight, free of the pain that they will soon endure. We see Ekko charging towards Powder without much of a plan, before finally getting hit, putting a smile on her face. And then the animation brutally rewinds back to reality. No more music, no more bright playful colors. Their innocence is gone, replaced by the unforgiving reality that these former friends are now enemies, no longer having a game between friends, but a battle to the death. Ekko has grown and is no longer simply getting hit by Jinx. He's calculated and tactical, dodging Jinx's reckless shots before knocking her down, disarming her and then pinning his former friends to the ground. The creators actually managed to explore the dynamic between Jinx and Ekko from the past and the present using this short flashback that is contained in a fight scene. And if that's not amazing, I don't know what is. The ways that Jinx and Ekko fight are more than just action, it's a way of storytelling. Before their one-on-one fight, we see Jinx unleashing her modified firelight-looking butterfly bombs on the bridge, killing Marcus and the enforcers. Before then targeting Vi and Caitlyn, fueled by her trauma of being abandoned and replaced, symbolized by Milo once again. Ekko then comes in through the light, protecting both of them, then knocking away Jinx's minigun, tactically using his hoverboard to block some shots, and then making sure that Vi and Caitlyn can escape safely before confronting his enemy. During the entire show, Jinx is fighting with unpredictable weaponry, bombs, guns and gadgets that are volatile and seemingly thrown together, mirroring her own instability. She's not fighting with a clear combat plan, but rather lashing out, driven by emotions and impulse. And in this one-on-one, using the exact same strategy she used as a kid and then getting surprised as a consequence. Ekko's moves are precise, planned and controlled. He has improved and flows through every fight he takes with confidence and a sense of direction. During the fight, we see Ekko accompanied by a Firelight and Jinx backed up by a crow. The symbolism for a Firelight here is pretty straightforward, considering Ekko is the leader of the Firelights, shining a guiding light in the darkness, creating a brighter future as a community, just like the Firelights light up their surroundings in group. Jinx being accompanied by a crow also isn't the first time this happens. Before multiple key events in the show, we can hear or see crows arriving at the scene, indicating something wrong is about to go down. In our world, a crow is often used as a symbol of death or an omen of bad luck, simply because they are carrion eaters just like vultures or hyenas. So they appear at places of death to feed, inadvertently leading to people to associate them as a bad omen. However, the crow also stands as a symbol of transformation and change, one that fits with Powder and Jinx's story. Towards the end of season 1, when Jinx fully embraces her current self, we even see her sitting on a chair decorated with crow feathers. But it's this moment that is the crowning jewel of this fight scene. After beating Jinx down, Ekko hesitates, allowing Jinx to pull out her grenade, detonating it and ending the fight. To completely understand the beauty of this shot, we need to go back in the episode to where Ekko shows Vi the mural. It's a giant art piece in the Firelights base depicting everyone they've lost, and how Ekko puts it is the price of their freedom. Among his other friends, the mural has Powder on it. Not because that he thinks she died, but because Ekko believes that the person that once was Powder is gone and only Jinx is left. He has confronted Jinx multiple times during the show and came to the conclusion that she's beyond saving, contrary to what Vi believes. But here at the end of their fight, he hesitates. The world around them stops, and there's only both of the characters' expressions telling the story. For a moment, he sees Powder again. He sees the friend he grew up with. And from the slight smile on Jinx's face, we can see that she recognizes this. Both of them are briefly transported back to their childhood, free of the trauma they suffered. Jinx is Powder again in this moment. She's not seen as the crazy person she's become, but as the playful and insecure child she once was. To further emphasize this moment, her eye color in this shot is grey, similar to how Powder's eyes at the start of the show are grey. Then after the events of the explosion, they turn blue, and after this fight and Singed injects her with shimmer, they turn to the purple pinkish color. I don't believe this is an accident, considering how much care is put into the visual storytelling of Arcane. It is in this moment of serenity that Jinx releases her grenade, ending the battle, and in my eyes definitively killing Powder. On the other hand, you could also see this as Jinx realizing that she briefly appeared and became Powder again, and decides to go out as Powder instead of Jinx. This battle is her point of no return. Powder is lost forever, and Jinx becomes the manifestation of chaos and reckless destruction. After this fight, Silco brings a severely wounded Jinx to Singed, who saves her life by injecting her with shimmer, transforming her eye color to the pink-purple color. When she comes by, Jinx has fully lost it, and even though she pretends like Vi has the final decision over the Jinx and Powder story, she's already too far gone at this point. After confronting Jinx, Ekko faces the harsh reality that not everyone can be saved. We see him recovering from his wounds and then taking Heimerdinger to the Firelights hideout, but he doesn't really interact with any other major character after this, and I look forward to how his story will develop in season 2. The fight between Jinx and Ekko is a beautifully crafted scene with a great setup, amazing animation, impeccable sound design, and it's oozing storytelling and character in every single frame. And that only in a fight that lasted a few seconds. But as Ekko himself puts it,
if you can't make the most out of any given moment, then you don't deserve a single extra second.